Oh, we have got a fantastic show for you guys today. We got dragons, we got elephants, we don't have all those things, but we do have entitled parents, and those are some mythical creatures. Not that an elephant is mythical. Let's just get on with the show. Don't forget, Voicey veterans, to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story is called Entitled Aunt Locks Our House 'Cause She Wants to Sell It. So people really wanted to know the other story about my other aunt. So backstory for those who haven't read the last one. I lived in my grandparents' house for 10 years. Both grandparents are dead and there's no will, so not sure what to do with the house. But grandma's wish before dying was not to sell the house. About my aunt. She is married to her husband, who has his business abroad, and has one boy of my age. He's a really sweet kid and I love him to death, but she sent him to a boarding school for character development. She is an alcoholic, hates my father and has no morale. So now over to the actual story. Now when we were in the house, we had everything bad happen to us. We lost money, my dad got his leg crushed under a bus, he also got cancer. I got depression and anxiety. My dad lost his job and, etc, etc. So basically, a bad omen. We moved about a year ago and I kid you not, our life instantly became perfect. Like amazing. See, the only reason we had to make trips back and forth in that house was because our old house was 220 square yards and our current house is 110 square yard, so we couldn't fit all of our furniture in it. The house is just abandoned and dusty and stuff. So my grandma died a few weeks ago, and after her death, my aunt, who is very hungry for money, has been trying to get my other psycho aunt convinced to sell the house, but they won't have a home after that, so she denies. Now that woman at least wants to sell our floor. The house has a great value, so she really wants to get the money from it. Her husband returned from Thailand, where he lives, to attend the chotha, something done to pay final respects on the 4th day after the death. Now, we didn't go home, so we have no idea what the frick went on there, but my psycho aunt, who was kind of concerned, told us that the aunt came with her husband and he put locks on our house, hence stopping us from doing anything in it. We had to get new stuff for our new home that we're gonna move in May, and we wanted to keep those things in that house because we have no space where we're living. Now, my aunt told my mum about this when we went there to accept the delivery, but mum and dad went to a locked house. She was restricting us from getting our personal property. There are books, tables, cabinets, almirahs, and whatnot in the house. We can't get any of it now, just cause that bee thinks she is entitled to that house and our stuff. Don't make a communism joke. My mum's relatives, except my grandma and grandpa, hate my dad for some reason. They accused him of killing my grandpa, when it was my aunt who was responsible for it. It's a long story. Now let me tell you what, my dad is the sweetest human being I know. He is there to protect us. He handles whatever insults my mum's relatives throw at him. He works really hard for us. He gives us every luxury, even in dire times and whatnot. I don't know why they hate him. He's such a nice man. I literally had to protect him at my grandma's funeral so that no one would say anything to him, and I was ready to fight if anyone did. Anyway, my dad didn't get angry or anything, but simply said, when we'll be able to move out, we'll take everything and never come back again. Everyone agreed. Now, we had totally let this go, cause we know how crazy a person that woman and her husband is. But about a week ago, my mum received a call. My friend usually called at that time, so I thought it would be her, but it was the aunt. She was drunk and was saying some senseless crap. Here's how the convo went.
I have filed a police report against you, and you'll get arrested if you try to break the locks.
That doesn't make any sense. We have just as much right as you do over that house.
You and your husband will not come near that house and stop telling Aunt 2 crazy stories about not selling the aunt.
Realizing that she thinks I'm my mom, we're not saying anything to her. You're insane.
And your husband, I will make him pay, and he will suffer.
At this point, I have had enough and just want to make her shut up. I have no respect for her now, and I just went off. I have never ever said anything bad to her before, but yeah. Okay, now I can't take it. If you ever call here again, you will face consequences. You are no longer welcome to call here, and I'll straight up block you. So, here's the thing. My sister is kind of the person who has had to shut this woman up a lot of times, so she thought I was her. Sister is 23.
You mother effer! Give the phone to Mum's name this instant. She is my sister, and I have a right to talk to her.
I'm me? You just swore at a child.
No, you're lying. You can't be her. I know it's not.
So she had a very sensitive ego, and the thought of her being told off by a child just broke her. It is me. And now, don't ever call us again, you drunk degenerate. Bye. I disconnected the call and blocked her. I don't know what scene will be created once we break the locks, but my mum and dad were proud of me for what I did. The fact that I was the one who said all this broke her completely. Dad was really angry that she swore at me, and said I did good by not stooping to her level. Also, I was talking in front of my mum, and even though she knows I swear, she's never heard me do it, and I don't want to scar her. The sound of her sweet child swearing will break her. Obviously, I don't know whatever complexities are behind who owns the house and how much each person owns, but locking the house, basically claiming it's all yours, while the other family members have items that are their possessions inside the house, is definitely wrong. I don't know if that would be grounds for them to lose part ownership of the house, but it wouldn't look good in a court of law, surely. This story's called Karen Wants to Take My Phone Simply Because I Listen to Rap Music. In the story is Karen, the entitled mother, EF, entitled father, SK, stupid kid, MMBF, my mum, best friend, VND, very nice driver. So let's just jump into it. It was a hot afternoon and I was just coming back from the beach with a friend. We both enjoyed our day a lot, and coming back home, she started to sleep. We live a little far away and she's always sleepy, so I didn't really mind. I picked my phone and my earbuds, putting my favorite artist to play, and was just there, enjoying the moment. So the bus stops and I see our Karen walking in the bus. She was with her husband/boyfriend, and they had a child with them. The kid stared at me for a second, and then sat right behind me, with his father. I didn't mind, I just raised up the volume and cared about my own life. By the way, I'm very shy, so I don't really talk to people I don't know. I could sense the kid behind me, watching me pick my next music. I was listening to a loop. I, being the shy redditor of all, simply ignored him and kept doing what I was doing.
Hey, you listen to NF?
Yeah, I kinda like.
Me too.
He stayed in silence for a bit, just looking at my phone.
Hey, give me an earbud so I can listen too.
Pardon me?
Come on, give it one at least.
Sorry lad, but that's a no. I laughed and kept listening. The kid seemed to be very ticked, but went back to his seat, so it all seemed to be fine. The bus stopped again and that's when heck started. So apparently, Karen saw the whole scene and was very, very angry at me for some reason. She stood up and went to me.
Excuse me?
Yes, is there something I can do to help?
Well,
rolls eyes for some reason.
My angel wanted your earbuds or whatever that is.
Sorry, but I can't just give it to him.
Not even one? You have two?
Yeah, not even one. They were expensive.
So what? Give it to me.
And then she proceeds to take one out of my ear. Now, being shy like me sucks because I couldn't even say something. I was just there, trying to process what the heck just happened. I looked deep into the kid's soul, watching him picking my earbud and smiling to me. So I just started to plan what I was going to do.
I don't like this song.
Me very ticked. So what?
So change it.
Gotta be freaking kidding me.
Mom, this kid won't change the stupid rap song.
So at this point, she was shouting to the entire bus to hear. Nobody did nothing, of course. Nobody really gave a care. So Karen came, took the earbud from her kid, and listened to the music. Right in the part it says, I guess your definition of violence and mine are something that we look at differently.
Oh my gosh, are you making my child listen to this demonish songs?
So Karen was also shouting, which made my friend wake up. She was still sleepy and wasn't understanding what was going on. What's going on?
This stupid brat is making my baby listen to these atheist hellish musics.
She looked at me and I muttered, she's a bee. Wait, how is the kid listening to the music?
Your friend borrowed his earbud, now my baby's being contaminated.
That's not true.
Be quiet, you stupid atheist.
So at this point my friend was even more confused. I was ashamed and red and everything was terrible. So my hero arrives, the bus driver. He stopped the bus and looked back. Okay, what's going on? Karen tells the same thing over and over. She stole my earbud and now is blaming me for listening to my music. Is this true? Of course not! I point at her. Stop freaking lying. You stole from me. Oh, he's R-ing me. What? Entitled father stands up.
You son of a bee, stay away from my wife.
And guess what? He punched me. That's enough. Out of the bus. You can't do this.
Yeah, we paid for this ride.
Do I have to call the cops? Out right now. So Karen and her family screams at me for a while and finally get out. The kid gave my earbud back and everything seemed fine. I wasn't that hurt. The driver even wanted to call a medic. I thanked him and went back to my seat. My friend said sorry, but for me, it was all okay. I actually turned friends with the driver, and we talk until today. One of life's greatest lessons. If you can avoid public transport, do so at all costs. That's where entitled parents shine. They're like, this is our kingdom, our domain, and we shall rule our peasants. So if you're like, hey, you know what? I want to have a really bad day today. Just go up to a bus, buy a ticket, and wait for the next entitled parent to board because you're gonna be in luck. You're gonna have a bad day right then and there. Bada bing, bada boom, next story. And it's the same aunt as the first story. Entitled aunt tries to convince me to fit her standards of girliness by shaming me, basically. Okay, this is about my mother's side of the family. There are 2 stories I can think of right now. Context for the stories: me and my family had moved to my maternal grandparents' house to help them in their old age. Now that house has 3 floors. One was bought by someone, one was ours, and the ground floor was my grandparents where my divorced aunt and uncle lived. They were dependent as neither of them wanted to work, so we had to help them out. Now a few years ago, my grandfather died and my aunt would sit in the living room all day and watch TV. Now I had to hang out downstairs because of some issues I don't want to talk about, so I just was on my PC all day, and sometimes talked to my friends or my boyfriend. Even though we lived there, we had basically no personal right over the floor we lived in. Okay, first thing happened with the lazy aunt. So I just hung out with her in the room all day long and would just mind my own business all the time, not talking to her. She was the one who started muttering crap for no reason. Now I'm a tomboy and it's very clear that I'm not girly from the way I dress and behave. That just triggered her so much. It was a normal day and we were sitting around and stuff. That bat crazy woman suddenly just started calling me stuff like unladylike, uncultured, sick in my mind, ill-mannered, etc. I was like, lady, what the F? So here's how our conversation went after this.
You know, you shouldn't wear those clothes at all. You are fat and it makes you look very bad. You should lose your weight and then you'll look presentable maybe.
Now, I know that wasn't true because I'd been getting compliments all freaking day long. Silence.
You should be more like a girl. Cross your legs. You know this thing you call yourself a tomboy is a disease. Get yourself fixed.
Now I was angry AF. It's not a disease, you 18th century hag. It's who I am.
No, listen to your elders. I am correct. You have a disease.
Me knowing this would go nowhere. Yeah, okay. I mean, who the frick calls a personality trait a disease?
You shouldn't talk to boys as well. They'll mistreat you.
Me, for some dumb reason, opens my mouth. Oh, but all I have are male friends. Aunt looks at me with wide eyes and an angry stare.
What?
Oh no.
Do you want to get mistreated by those guys? Keep yourself away from them or else I won't let you get out of this house.
Who the F are you to do that?
I'm family and family protects each other.
Yeah, right. Quiet down and stop disturbing me.
I will tell your mum to break off your friendships with all your boyfriends.
Doesn't mean if I'm with a guy, he's my boyfriend. Now shut up, because you have no right over my life and my social life.
Yes, I do, because your mum is crazy and doesn't know how to raise her daughters. Even your sister is like you. Always with boys. Don't come to me when you get mistreated. Fools learn by their own experiences, you know.
Me infuriated. Shut up! You have no right to say all this and no right to call my mother crazy. You are the crazy one.
Shut up! Your parents haven't taught you to respect your elders. Your father killed my father and now he's sending his daughter here to kill me with her disrespect.
This is also my house, not yours, ours. I'm here to see my grandmother. What you gonna do about it? Kick me out? You can't even move me an inch. And as for my dad, if you say another word about him, I will throw this chair at your head, so shut up and leave my family alone. She didn't say anything after, and started mumbling to herself. Also, she didn't bother me again for my ladylikeness, but still insulted my family. It's like she knew the mistake she was making as she was making it. Like, why am I responding? What am I doing? This is only going to get worse. And it did. Her aunt is basically a troll. A troll feeds off those sort of emotional reactions of the other person. So it's only bound to happen worse and worse as time goes on. You gotta cut off the food supply and you just don't give that reaction in response.
This has been Defense Against Entitled Parents with Voicey. I hope you enjoyed your class today.
Psych, one more story. This story is called My Son Wants a Go in Your Electric Wheelchair. Get out so he can have a go. The backstory. I'm a 29-year-old female and have been confirmed to a wheelchair since I was 17. I'm a quadriplegic and can use a manual wheelchair at home, but use a power wheelchair in public for practical reasons. I have mostly full use of my upper body and partial use of my lower body. I've been mistaken for a paraplegic a few times. This happened about a month ago before the crap hit the fan with Dramatized 19 in my town. I was downtown shopping for supplies for my inevitable self-isolation when I heard a deafening squeal of a child, about 12.
Ooh, that's a cool scooter. How fast does it go?
Thanks, little man. Yeah, it goes pretty fast.
Can I have a go?
Me thinking that he meant to sit on my lap and drive him around, which in any other scenario I would have been happy to do. Sorry dude, but not today. The kid says,
"Oh, okay,"
and stomps away. And I thought it was the end of it, but you know I wouldn't be here if it was. A few minutes later I hear the ground start to tremble as the Megatron Karen approaches. Oh boy, I thought, this is going to be fun.
Excuse me, what did you say to my son?
Me, confused. He wanted a ride in my wheelchair. I said no.
What did you just say to me? You need to respect your elders and not talk down to my poor little angel. You don't even need that wheelchair. I know your legs work. You're just faking it to get attention. Now let my son have a ride.
She wouldn't have been much older than 35, so obviously not my elder. But even if my nan spoke to me like that, I wouldn't reply kindly. Me, all of my patience finally gone. My wheelchair costs more than your car, and you want me to miraculously heal out of my chair so your dirty crotch goblin can take a joyride? Okay, here's where the story gets graphic. I have hypermobility, which makes my joints extremely flexible, and dislocation easy and relatively painless. I also have titanium screws inside my neck that creak loudly when I move a certain way. Bring on the Frankenstein! I leaned forward, pushed down with my right arm, dislocating my shoulder blade with a loud pop as I twisted my neck to make it creak, then pushed down with my left hand to contort my arm and hand in an unnatural position. This all happened in a few seconds, but it was enough to make Karen, red-faced and horrified, scream out,
"Stop! It's okay! EK, let's go!"
and they hurried out of the store. I could hear laughter coming from behind me as a friend who works there walked up to me and said, "That was mean." He knew me well and had seen me pull that trick before. Needless to say, I never had an issue like that again. It's a small town and news travels fast. Don't mess with the girl in the wheelchair. I don't understand this obsession with entitled parents thinking that they somehow own everybody's wheelchair. And why do they think it's a toy? Like if somebody had the choice of being healed and not needing to be in a wheelchair, or needing to always be in a wheelchair, yeah, they're gonna choose to be healed. For that person, it's almost like an extension of them. It's their mobility. It's how they get around. It'd be like saying, "Hey, can I jump on your leg and go for a ride?" Wildly inappropriate. Alright, well thanks for stopping by guys. Remember you can submit your stories to voiceyherestories@gmail.com. Post your stories, memes, and fan art at r/VoiceyHere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. Alright Voicey veterans, I'll see you in the next one.